The screen begins in darkness. Slowly, a deep wind begins to echo. Clouds move across a giant sky, glowing orange under the light of a rising sun. Far below, enormous mountains stretch endlessly across the land. Their snowy peaks piercing the clouds, and then a shadow moves across the sky. Huge wings cut through the clouds. A dragon bursts into view, its golden scales shimmer in the sunlight as it glides through the air like a living storm. Another dragon follows, then another, and another. Soon, the sky is filled with dragons of every kind. Some have silver scales that shine like moonlight. Some breathe small bursts of fire as they race through the air. Others are enormous, ancient creatures whose wings create thunder with every beat. On their backs ride warriors, dragon riders, armored riders gripping their saddles as they soar across the sky like guardians of the world. Below them lies a great kingdom. Tall white towers rise from the center of a shining city. Banners wave in the wind. People look up and cheer as the dragon riders fly overhead, protecting the land from danger. For centuries, dragons and humans lived together. They explored the skies together. They protected the kingdoms together. And together, they kept the darkness away. But peace never lasts forever. The sky slowly darkens. The warm sunlight fades behind thick black clouds. The wind grows colder. In the distance, something terrible approaches. A swarm of black shapes spreads across the horizon like a storm. Dark dragons. Their scales are sharp like obsidian. Their eyes glowing with a cruel red fire. Behind them lies an army. Warships with burning torches. Soldiers in dark armor. A war unlike anything the world had ever seen. Dragons roar across the sky. Fire explodes between the clouds. Golden dragons clash against black ones. Flames light up the heavens like thunder and lightning. One dragon rider dives through the battlefield, his dragon breathing a stream of blazing fire across enemy ships. Another dragon crashes through the clouds, knocking dark dragons aside with its massive wings. But the enemy keeps coming. More and more dark dragons flood the sky. The peaceful kingdom below begins to burn. Towers crumble, bridges collapse. The sky that once held legends of glory now becomes a battlefield of chaos. Dragons fall from the clouds. Their massive bodies crash into the mountains below. The war spreads across the world. Forests burn. Cities fall. The age of dragon riders begins to crumble. One by one, the dragons disappear from the sky. And then, silence. The screen fades slowly to black. Years pass. The mountains remain, tall and quiet. The forests grow thick again. The ruins of old castles lie hidden beneath vines and moss. The world continues to move forward, but the sky is empty. Dragons are no longer seen. In the small kingdom of Ardoria, people now treat dragons as nothing more than old stories. Children gather in a small classroom made of stone walls and wooden desks. Sunlight pours through the windows as dust floats gently through the air. A teacher stands at the front of the room, holding an old book filled with drawings of dragons. He opens the pages slowly. Inside are illustrations of dragon riders soaring through the sky. The children stare in wonder. The teacher smiles softly. He tells them that long ago, dragons ruled the skies. He explains how dragon riders once protected the world. But he also tells them that dragons vanished many years ago. No one knows where they went. Some believe they died in the Great War. Others believe they simply left the world forever. The children whisper and laugh quietly. To them, dragons are only myths, just like fairy tales. But one boy sitting near the window does not laugh. His name is Ayaan. He watches the clouds drifting slowly outside. Something in his eyes says he does not believe the stories ended. When the class finally ends, the other children run outside laughing and playing. But Ayaan walks in the opposite direction, toward the mountains. The mountains that once belonged to dragons. The path grows rough as he climbs higher. Trees become thicker. The wind grows stronger. Birds scatter as he moves through the forest. The mountain stands enormous above him, its rocky cliffs stretching high into the clouds. Most people never come here. They say the mountains are cursed by the old dragon war. But Ayaan keeps walking. Something pulls him forward. As the sun begins to lower in the sky, a strange glow flickers between the rocks ahead. A faint blue light, almost like a heartbeat. Ayaan stops. The wind suddenly becomes very quiet. The forest holds its breath. Slowly, he walks closer to the glow. A narrow cave opens in the mountain wall. Cold air flows from the darkness inside. The blue light pulses again. Ayaan steps into the cave. His footsteps echo against the stone. The deeper he walks, the brighter the glow becomes. Ancient carvings cover the cave walls. Dragons, hundreds of them, flying, fighting, protecting riders. It is as if the cave itself remembers the last age. Then he sees it. At the center of the cave, resting on a bed of stone, is something impossible. A massive dragon egg. Its surface glows faintly with blue light. Thin cracks spread slowly across its shell. Ayaan stares in shock. The cave suddenly trembles slightly. Dust falls from the ceiling. The glowing egg shakes again. A louder crack echoes through the cave. Ayaan takes a careful step closer. The egg splits open. For a moment, everything becomes still. Then two glowing blue eyes open inside the broken shell. A small dragon lifts its head. Tiny wings unfold slowly. It looks around the cave, confused by the world it has just entered. Then its eyes lock onto Ayaan. The young dragon tilts its head. Curious, careful, it slowly walks toward him, each tiny step echoing in the silent cave. Ayaan holds his breath. The dragon reaches him. For a moment, they simply stare at each other. Then the dragon gently touches his hand with its nose. A sudden glow spreads across the cave. A mysterious symbol flashes across Ayaan's arm. A bond, ancient, powerful. Outside the mountain, far below the forest path, armored soldiers ride toward the cave. Their leader raises a dark banner marked with the symbol of a dragon skull. His voice echoes across the valley. Search the mountain. The dragon must not escape. Inside the cave, the baby dragon spreads its wings. Blue fire flickers softly from its mouth. And Ayaan realizes something that will change the world forever. Dragons were never gone. They were only waiting. And the age of dragon riders is about to begin again. The adventure has just begun. The small dragon stood right in front of Ayaan, blinking its glowing blue eyes and tilting its head curiously. Ayaan slowly knelt down, his voice soft. "Hey, easy. I'm not going to hurt you." The dragon sniffed his outstretched hand again, and then a sudden shout shattered the quiet. "Ayaan, are you crazy?" Ayaan flinched and turned. "Shh, you'll scare it." Rico was staring at the creature like he'd just seen a ghost. "That's not the problem. That thing is a dragon." The little dragon looked over at Rico and let out a tiny, almost cute growl. A small path of blue fire popped from its mouth. Rico jumped back, his eyes wide. Okay, I take it back. It's cute, very cute." Ayaan smiled and slowly reached toward the dragon again. This time, it didn't move away. Instead, it nudged his arm gently. At that exact moment, the glowing symbol on Ayaan's arm flickered, casting a faint light in the dim cave. Rico saw it too. "Did you see that?" "Yes, and I don't like it." The dragon made a soft, chirping sound, almost like it was trying to talk. Ayaan's smile widened. "I think it likes me." Rico threw his hands up in disbelief. "Of course it likes you. You are the only human crazy enough to walk toward a dragon." Suddenly, the dragon's head snapped toward the cave entrance. Its ears perked up, and it let out another low growl. Ayaan noticed its sudden change. "What is it?" Then they heard it. The faint sound of voices echoing from outside the cave, carried on the wind. Outside, a group of heavily armored soldiers was moving through the dense forest. Their leader, a tall man in imposing dark armor, with a helmet shaped like a dragon's skull, stepped forward. "Spread out," he commanded, his voice cold and sharp. "Search every cave. The Lord wants the dragon alive." His soldiers nodded and began to disperse. Back inside the cave, Rico's eyes were wide with terror. "Did you hear that?" Ayaan nodded slowly, his expression serious. The little dragon pressed closer to him, trying to hide behind his leg. "They're looking for the dragon," Rico whispered urgently. "Then we can't let them find it," Ayaan replied, his voice firm. "Ayaan, we should run," the dragon chirped again, a worried little sound. Ayaan looked down at it. "Hey, it's okay." For Rico's amazement, the tiny creature seemed to calm down at Ayaan's words. "How are you doing that?" Rico asked, bewildered. "I don't know," Ayaan admitted. The sound of the soldiers grew louder. The clinking of their armor and the crunch of their boots on gravel echoed from the cave entrance. A voice called out, "I think there's a cave here." Rico's face went pale. "That's it. We're dead." Ayaan frantically looked around the cave for an escape route. His eyes landed on something behind the massive, broken dragon egg. It was a narrow passage in the rock, almost completely hidden in the shadows. "There," he hissed, pointing. Rico squinted. "That hole? It's our only chance." Just then, the dragon scurried toward Ayaan and, with surprising agility, climbed onto his shoulder, perching there like a parrot. Rico stared, completely dumbfounded. "Oh, great. Now it thinks you're its mother. Come on," Ayaan urged, already moving toward the passage. They scrambled inside just as the first soldier's shadow fell across the cave floor. The tunnel was tight, dark, and damp. Rico struggled to keep up, breathing heavily. I swear, if we survive this, I am never following you up a mountain ever again, from Ayaan's shoulder. The dragon let out a happy little chirp. Ayaan couldn't help but laugh quietly. Hey, we need a name for you. The dragon tilted its head, its blue eye shining in the dark. Rico was incredulous. You're naming it right now? Why not? As if on cue, the dragon shot a tiny spark of blue fire from its mouth, illuminating the tunnel for a brief, brilliant second. Rico yelped and jumped. Okay, maybe a name that's a little less explosive? Ayaan thought for a moment, then a smile touched his lips. How about Ember? The dragon chirped happily in response. Rico just sighed. Great, now the fire-breathing creature has a name. Meanwhile, back at the cave entrance, the soldiers had entered. One of them pointed to the shattered remains of the eggshell. Captain, the captain knelt beside it, his gloved hand tracing the edge of a broken piece. His eyes narrowed behind his dragon skull helmet. So it hatched. He stood up slowly, his gaze sweeping the dark cave. They couldn't have gone far. Find them now. The soldiers immediately rushed deeper into the cave, their search becoming more frantic. Back in the tunnel, Ayaan, Rico, and their new companion, Ember, finally reached the end. A sliver of sunlight shone through a crack in the rocks. They pushed their way out and found themselves on a narrow cliffside ledge. The entire valley spread out below them, a breathtaking vista of green and gold. Rico leaned against the rock wall, catching his breath. Well, we escaped, but their relief was short-lived. A moment later, the sharp, piercing sound of a horn echoed through the valley. Ayaan froze. What was that? Then they saw them. Far below, more soldiers. Dozens of them, swarming up the mountain paths like ants. Rico's face fell. Please tell me they're not here for us. Ayaan looked at Ember, perched on his shoulder. The tiny dragon spread its wings slightly, a nervous energy about it. I think they are. From behind them, they heard the sounds of the first group of soldiers finally reaching the tunnel exit. Their footsteps echoed, getting closer and closer. Rico's voice was strained. Ayaan, we have a problem. They were trapped. Soldiers climbing up from below, soldiers closing in from behind. There was nowhere to go. Ember, sensing the danger, suddenly flapped its tiny wings, trying with all its might to fly. It lifted into the air for a heart-stopping second before tumbling back down onto Ayaan's shoulder with a soft thud. Rico let out a heavy sigh. Well, that's not very helpful. But Ayaan was suddenly smiling. It was a dangerous kind of smile, the kind he got right before doing something completely reckless. Maybe it is. Rico looked at him, confused. What are you thinking? Ayaan pointed down toward a steep, winding mountain path, barely more than a goat trail. We go down. Rico peered over the edge. The path was steep, rocky, and looked certifiably insane. You mean fall down? But Ayaan was already moving, carefully starting his descent. Come on, Rico groaned, shaking his head. One day, your ideas are going to kill us. From his perch, Ember chirped happily, as if thrilled by the prospect. And so, the three of them began their desperate escape down the mountain. Just as the soldiers burst out of the cave behind them, a shout rang out. There they are, and the chase began. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and subscribe to our channel for the next part of the adventure. There they are. Move, move, Ayaan. This is not a path. This is a fall. After them, the clang of armor echoed from the cave as the soldiers started their descent. Rico, pale with fear, scrambled after Ayaan. If I survive this, I am blaming you forever. Ember, the tiny dragon perched on Ayaan's shoulder, let out a worried chirp as it peered down the sheared rock. Hey, don't worry, I've got you. A loose rock gave way under Rico's foot, sending a shower of pebbles into the abyss. He barely caught himself. Okay, I officially hate mountains. A soldier leaped down to a ledge just above them, his voice cutting through the wind. Stop. Ayaan didn't waste a glance back. Keep moving. Finally, they reached a narrow rocky ledge halfway down the mountain. Rico collapsed against the cliff face, gasping for air. 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Ayaan looked up. The soldiers were closing in fast. We don't have 5 seconds. Just then, Ember jumped from Ayaan's shoulder, its tiny wings beating furiously. It glided a short distance before landing with a clumsy little hop. Rico watched, a flicker of amusement in his eyes. Oh wow, that was slightly impressive. Ember chirped proudly. You're learning already, huh? But the moment was cut short by the sound of boots on rock. The soldiers had reached the ledge directly above them. There, down there. Rico groaned in frustration. Can they stop finding us? Ayaan's eyes frantically scanned their surroundings. His gaze locked onto a wooden structure further down, built right into the rock face. It was ancient, broken, and half hidden by vines. Look, Rico squinted, trying to make it out. What is that? I don't know, but it might be shelter. Or a trap. At this point, I'll take either. They pushed onward, making their way toward the structure. It was an old stone watchtower, weathered by time, clinging to the side of the mountain. They scrambled through the broken doorway and took cover inside. Rico immediately slumped against a wall. I'm never running again. While Ember cautiously explored the room, sniffing at rusted pieces of armor on the dusty floor, Ayaan moved deeper into the tower's shadow. The walls were covered in faded, peeling murals. He saw images of dragons, of riders soaring through the sky, of epic battles fought among the clouds. Rico, having caught his breath, noticed them too. He stepped closer to the wall, his eyes wide with disbelief. Wait, Ayaan, look at this. The soldiers were here. Splintering wood crashed from the floor below, the sound echoing up the broken watchtower. Rico's face, pale and smudged with dirt, peeked over the crumbling window ledge. Bad news. And I mean, really bad news. They're almost here. I can see the top of their helmets. Ayaan's eyes darted around the dusty room. His gaze landed on a thick, rusted chain bolted to the far wall, coiled in the shadows like a metal snake. Rico, forget them. Help me with this. Rico stumbled over. A chain. What are you going to do? Challenge them to a tug-of-war. Ayaan was already pulling, grunting with the effort. What's the plan? Rico asked, finally grabbing a hold. Ayaan nodded toward the open window and the sheer drop beyond. We slide down. Rico stared, his mouth agape. You're joking. Please tell me you're joking. That's 100-foot drop. A deafening crack split the air as the wooden door to the watchtower shattered. Heavy footsteps thundered on the stairs. No time for jokes, Ayaan yelled. Together, they heaved the heavy chain, tossing the end out into the open air where it clattered against the stone cliffside. Ayaan grabbed it without a second thought. Jump! He swung out and began to slide. Rico groaned, a sound of pure despair, and leaped after him. I really hate your plans. Above them, the dragon skull helmet of the captain appeared in the window, followed by two archers. They're escaping down the west wall. Arrows suddenly sang past their ears, thudding into the rock around them. Ember, clinging to Ayaan's shoulder, let out a furious squeak and spit a surprisingly potent burst of blue fire back up toward the soldiers, who ducked back in shock. Rico blinked, his knuckles white on the chain. Did our tiny lizard just protect us? They hit the ground with a jarring thud, stumbling onto a wide, flagged clearing, and then they froze. Looming before them was a cage of immense iron bars. Inside it, a colossal dragon. Its scales were the color of bronze, and smoke curled from its nostrils as it lowered its massive head to stare at them with ancient, intelligent eyes. Rico whispered, his voice trembling. Okay, new plan. We leave. Very, very quietly, but Ember hopped from Ayaan's shoulder, landed softly, and chirped a greeting at the bigger dragon. The huge beast's gaze softened almost imperceptibly as it watched the tiny hatchling. Ayaan took a step closer to the cage, his eyes fixed on the heavy, cruel-looking locks. They captured it. It's a prisoner. Rico let out a strangled laugh. Yes, that's what cages do. And that's a very large prisoner that I don't want to make angry. A slow, deliberate clap echoed from the path behind them. They spun around. The captain stood there, a smug look on his face, flanked by a dozen soldiers who quickly surrounded them. A touching moment. Truly, the boy and his beasts. Soldiers closed in, their spear tips gleaming. Rico slowly raised his hands. Okay, we surrender. Totally and completely. The captain ignored him, stepping closer to get a better look at Ember. So, this is the hatchling. Smaller than I expected. He reached a gloved hand toward the small dragon. Ember hissed and blasted a spark of blue fire that sizzled against his metal gauntlet. The captain pulled his hand back, his expression darkening. Soldiers grabbed Ayaan and Rico by the arms. Hey, easy on the merchandise, Rico protested. The captain studied Ayaan, his eyes narrowed. The dragon chose you. Interesting. Ayaan glared back defiantly. The captain smiled, a cold, thin line. Our lord will be very interested to meet you. As they were shoved forward, Rico whispered, that doesn't sound good. When people say, the lord will want to see you, it's never for a friendly chat. The soldiers began dragging them toward a large, iron-barred wagon. Behind them, the giant dragon let out a deafening, mournful roar that shook the very ground. In response, Ember answered with a tiny but fierce roar of its own, The captain looked back, unfazed. Take them, but as the soldiers started moving, a new sound split the sky. A powerful roar, deep and ancient, echoed across the mountains. Ember heard it and looked up, its blue eyes wide. A shadow fell over the clearing, fast and dark. The soldiers stopped, their faces filled with confusion, then terror. The captain spun around, his hand on his sword, his smug expression finally gone. Descending from the clouds was a dragon unlike any they had ever seen. Its scales shimmered like polished obsidian, and its eyes burned like molten gold. It was a creature of immense power and grace, a living storm. It landed with a force that shook the earth, its enormous head leveled directly at the captain. The soldiers scrambled back, their formation breaking. The new dragon let out a low growl that vibrated in their chests. Its gaze was fixed on Ember, who chirped again, a call of recognition. With the soldiers distracted, Ayaan acted. He slammed his elbow back into the soldier holding him, then kicked out at the other one grabbing Rico. Now, he shouted. The obsidian dragon took a step forward, and the soldiers scattered completely. The captain, realizing he was outmatched, gave a furious shout. Fall back! Fall back! He and his remaining men retreated, leaving the cage and the wagon behind. The colossal dragon roared, its golden eyes locking onto Ayaan. It lowered its head, nudging Ember gently before turning its attention to the two boys. It then dipped its massive shoulder, an unmistakable invitation. Ayaan didn't hesitate. He grabbed Rico's arm and pulled him along. Come on! They clambered onto the dragon's broad back, holding tight to its scales as Ember scrambled up to join them. With a powerful push of its legs, the great dragon leaped into the air. The wind rushed past them as they soared higher and higher, leaving the clearing, the cage, and the captain's forces far below. Ayaan looked back one last time, a grin spreading across his face as they flew toward the horizon. Free. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more adventures. See you next time. The massive dragon stretches its wings, and the mountains tremble under its roar. On my shoulder, Ember chirps sharply. I whisper, get ready, Ember. It's now or never. Rico clings to the edge of the wagon, yelling, you never make anything easy, do you? As the dragon breaks free, soldiers scatter in panic. Arrows fly, but they're dodged effortlessly. The huge dragon crushes a cart under its core, sending sparks flying. Suddenly, a shadow blots out the sky. A massive black dragon, its scales like molten metal, glides down from the clouds. Its eyes glow like fire. The captain leaps onto its back, holding a long, curved spear. His voice echoes, boys, I hope you're ready to meet your end. I step forward, staring him down. We'll see about that. Ember flaps its tiny wings, glowing blue. Then, something miraculous happens. The symbol on my arm blazes to life, spreading up my shoulder. My hair glows faintly. Ember chirps fiercely, and together, we lift off the ground. Rico shouts, wait, you're flying? How? I just grin. Focus. We have a fight to win. We soar into the sky. Below, the giant dragon follows, roaring. The captain shouts, attack, and the black dragon lunges. Fire meets fire, and the sky ignites with orange and blue flames. Hit it from above. I tell Ember. It dives, sending a stream of blue fire at the black dragon, which screeches in pain. From the valley below, more dragons rise, joining the fight. They circle above, surrounding the soldiers. The captain growls, destroy them. The black dragon dives at us. Ember dodges, twisting in mid-air. Now, Ember, side attack. A sharp blue flame clips the black dragon's wing. It screams, and the captain struggles to hold on. The giant dragon on the ground charges, and the soldiers' weapons shatter. Rico, still hanging on, yells, this is amazing. The glow from my arm spreads. Symbols appear in the air around me. This power, it's from the dragon riders. It's ours. I point forward, and Ember and the giant dragon rush the black dragon, surrounding it. I twist mid-air, land on the giant dragon's back, and grab the chains of a nearby cage. Release them. The chains snap, and smaller dragons fly out, joining the battle. I jump onto the black dragon's back. The captain yells, you dare challenge me? I calmly reply, yes, I am the last dragon rider. I strike the beast with a pulse of dragon energy from my glowing arm. It screeches and crashes into the mountain, throwing the captain off. Ember flares, sending him tumbling to the ground. The smaller dragons circle us as we land. I'm breathing hard. We did it. For now, Rico stares in awe. I can't believe we survived. This is just the beginning. We have to protect them all and stop whoever wants to use dragons for war. Far above, the horizon glows with the light of more dragons returning. The age of dragon riders is reborn. I raise my hand to the sky. Let's fly. This is our world, and it's time to fight for it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next chapter.